Franklin TV Sports presents Franklin High School Boys Tournament Lacrosse. Tonight on a relatively mild evening in Franklin, the Panthers, the number 4 seed in Division I, take on the number 29 seed, the Rangers of Methuen High School. Hi neighbors, and welcome to our telecast. I'm Pete Royce. Working alongside Ryan Martin, our producer and our director tonight, is Chris Leverone. Well, Ryan Martin, the playoffs, you would look at it and it's a big mismatch, but that's why they play the game, and come the playoffs, there's added pressure for the Panthers to keep their juggernaut season rolling along.
Well, Pete, what did Methuen head coach say when we talked to him pregame? It's David versus Goliath here, so sometimes that David will come out on top. We'll see that David being the Methuen Rangers. Pete, coming into this game, the 29 seed in Division I with a 9-9 record. Obviously, the heavy underdog here against the 17-1 number 4 seed Franklin Panthers, who are on a 12-game winning streak, I may add. We'll see what can happen here, but anything can happen come playoff time.
Franklin, as you said, the big winning streak, they're actually 17-1. They won their first 5. Then their only loss came to number 1 ranked St. John's Prep of Danvers back on April 22nd. That seems like a long time ago. For the other side of the ledger, for the Rangers of Methuen, and isn't it frequent that Franklin seems to be battling with Methuen in some sport, Ryan? They're 9-9 out of the Merrimack Valley Conference.
Yes, certainly. Anytime you're with Franklin now and you hear that Methuen name, you got to think back to the fall, which it felt like it was Franklin football's year to take it all. The number 1 seed, all of a sudden, I think it was the number 5 or 6 seed Rangers in football who come in, and they spoiled that really quickly right at this very turf, Pete. We'll see if they can bring the football gridiron now to the lacrosse field.
So we're all set to go. The officials for today are Fran Tarpey and Tony Gordani. Franklin in the home white, and they'll be going from left to right across your screen. And the visitors, the Rangers, going from right to left, and the Rangers have it. Quick start here. They're going to take it down low. The Rangers of Methuen High School, coached by Jason Sims in his 5th year. Having trouble controlling the ball. Drawing a double team there is Isaiah Kozel, and now the turnover, the ball out of bounds. Franklin will have it.
Yeah, obviously really early right there, Pete. But I think Methuen may have been a little bit impatient with that possession there, and Franklin now able to take over. There was also some questions about who would be a goal. You were right on that one. It's Michael Galvin getting the start.
Yeah, Mike Galvin in net for the Panthers. And Franklin has it. This is Braden Leonard. Franklin with its first offensive possession of the game. Methuen, probably their strong point is their defense. They have some upperclassmen on defense. On the offensive zone, Methuen starts 0 seniors. The shot there and the goal. The goal there. Franklin is on the board on the nice pass from Sacchetti, and Franklin leads it 1-0. I believe that goal might have been Drew McCarthy.
It was. I think that was Drew McCarthy, the long stick sophomore defender, Pete. So you can see some excitement on the field. I don't think that was just because it was their first goal of the game, Pete. I think it was because McCarthy scoring the rare goal in the season right there.
Right. It's not often you find a long stick defenseman putting it home. And the Panthers took 52 seconds to score it. And they lead it 1-0. Franklin this time wins the draw. And they'll have it in their offensive section for their second trip upfield. We'll set the defense for you in a moment. Panthers work it around. Coming out with it there. Eddie O'Brien charging. Handoff in front, just goes astray. In goal for the Rangers is junior goalkeeper Alexander A.J. Smith. He's a junior. He's in goal. He'll be tested. A.J. Smith. Smith is going to take it out himself, but he forces a turnover. An empty net goal. What a play. A smart play by Jaden Consigli. And how about Smith? He came out of goal and threw a very bad pass.
Yeah, mistakes that you simply can't make when you are that David and you're going up against Goliath right there, right? So Franklin getting that takeaway. Consigli, who was actually the star of the game, Pete, the last time Franklin played, 10 days ago, Consigli, 5 goals now, getting a pretty easy one for his first on the net.
He had an open net. You know what's interesting, Ryan? He didn't go all the way into the net. He let it go right away. He was really confident of his accuracy. And here comes Justin Alexander. He shoots and scores. Justin Alexander takes the face-off, and how about that? You talk about a long stick a defenseman scoring. How about the face-off guy? Usually he's off the field. He scores, makes it 3-0.
Yeah, Pete, if I was a betting man right now, I'd say that Michael Galvin, our goalie for Franklin, might actually get one here too. They're coming from all different sorts of angles right here. Franklin obviously not getting complacent, but finding some versatile ways to score.
That score comes 7 seconds into it. 64 degrees here in Franklin. Finally, some relatively warmer weather after this, let's call it a cold blast we've had for about 4 or 5 days. Again, Alexander wins the faceoff in front. All alone, Sacchetti goes low, and he buries it. 3 touches, and Sacchetti puts it home. The Panthers are rolling here. 4-0. That goal, interesting, the last 3 goals came 8 seconds apart and 8 seconds apart. So 3 goals in 16 seconds.
Yeah, light work, Pete, Franklin's making right now. You can see the speed that they're playing with. One thing that's impressed me most about, obviously, the last 20 seconds or so, how about Justin Alexander, your face-off, get off? Pete, he doesn't even have enough time to get off, and you were seeing him playing was a goal now and an assist.
Alexander sends it all the way back to Galvin, and Galvin whips one up to midfield. Good connection there. Taking it up is Chris Drake. No wind here at the Piscini Stadium turf field right at the moment. It's a welcome relief from what we've had. Just underway here, but Franklin exploding with 4 goals out of the gate. Panthers, the shot is wide. Franklin will be first to the goal there, to the ball, and will retain possession. 4-0.
Yeah, we saw Luke Davis on the rip right there, Pete. I mean, the last time he played against Methuen, he was obviously a captain of the football team there. So,
and a nice stop here by Smith on the blast by Sacchetti, A.J. Smith.
Maybe a little more power on the shots tonight from Luke Davis, even with Franklin already having this lead.
Yeah, Drew Davis, Luke Davis playing with a purpose here today. Back for Consigli. In front, coming through, faking, Davis shooting and scoring, and he's going to draw a penalty. I think they're going to count that goal. We'll wait till it's sorted out. It is a goal. They're going to waive off, I think, the penalty.
I think it was Owen O'Brien the penalty was against. If they're going to put it on, I think it'll be taken off as well. And one kind of opportunity there for Davis, and he's able to get it besides the O'Brien.
You just mentioned Davis, Ryan, and right on cue, he comes through and scores. 5 different Panthers have scored their first 5 goals in just under 6 minutes of play. Desi Samadia on the draw for Methuen. And Alexander, just so talented, drops it back for Chris Drake. And here come the Panthers, and Alexander goes off as usual. One of the greatest Fogo players that any league team has. In front, Consigli buries it. So Jaden Consigli, the first to score twice. And Goliath is leading here 6-0 at 8:47. Consigli with 2.
Yeah, it feels like Franklin's almost going for a light jog on the field as well, Pete. They're just finding themselves in the right position at the right time. We haven't really seen them have to break a sweat really at all for any of these 5 goals so far.
So it's 6-0, 8:47 to go. What a start for the Panthers here tonight. They've had, how many days have they been off, Ryan?
10 days, yeah. Almost.
It doesn't
almost
look it, does it?
No.
10-day layoff. Alexander comes back on to win the faceoff. He's going to take it down. Looking past goes astray. One of the rare miscues. Franklin quick to the ball, trying to get it, and it's going to be their goalkeeper, A.J. Smith, who comes out with it. This time he stays in his crease and releases. Nice ball handling there up to Isaiah Kozel. Kozel across the field, met there by Tyler Sacchetti. Kozel with the left-hand cradle bounces one, and there's going to be a flag here, and Kozel went down hard. It's either be on Davis or Sacchetti. It's going to be on Davis. He's going to go out, and Kozel is down on the field. He's going to draw a penalty from Davis. While he was prone there, lying down, not moving right away. Now Isaiah Kozel, the senior long stick midi defender, gets up, and Jen Edmonds attends to him. He's all right. He was stunned, wasn't he?
I was going to say, he's walking off now and jogging off like nothing happened right there. And trainer Jen is like, I'm going to need to see you a second for a concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Well, look at him running off, and Trainer Jensen up to get him, but
He was just
that was a tough hit.
he was frozen there for a while. So it's going to be a power play goal. It's 2 minutes for Davis. And Kozel appears to be okay. Grateful for that. 2 minutes on the penalty. And the Rangers go a player up here. In the first period, they're still trailing it 6-0.
Mm.
Taking it upfield is Howell. Kozel did come off the field. Out deep for Patrick Morris. So Coach Sims getting his bench into the action here. No real offensive looks for the Rangers so far today, but this is their best on the power play. The shot is blocked. The blast there by Joseph Casarano, and the Panthers try to take it upfield. They do behind midfield. Trying to score the shorthanded goal now. Out deep for Chris Drake. This is he with it. On the right wing for Tyler Sacchetti. Skip pass on the far side. Panthers work it back out to Drake. On the penalty kill. Drake dishes it in the end. Picked up there by C.J. Perro. And the Panthers work it around. Everybody with a touch here. Now with it is Drew Hansen. Hansen drops it in the corner. Here's Jaden Consigli looking for a hat trick already in the first period. And he's going to hold and go behind the net. Cutter's moving all over. Consigli reverses field with it. Now lobs one, a skip pass out on one hop. Taken there nicely by Sacchetti. Good fake by Tyler. And he'll bring it back to Drew Hansen. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Luke Davis. Franklin tacking, holding for Consigli. Jaden looking for Cutters, and he'll drop it back for Sacchetti. Tyler, one-on-one. Just holding the Panthers, killing this penalty. 7 seconds to go on it. Not much of a power play for Methuen as Sacchetti takes it through. Even strength of the team. Sacchetti come through, charges, fakes, shoots, and scores. Tyler Sacchetti with his second goal of the game. I think that's his even strength goal. I think Davis was out of the net at the time. And Sacchetti, but what marvelous work with the stick there, Ryan.
Yeah, and you think about where Sacchetti started that play, Pete. I think he started that around the 35-yard line. So you're taking that about 25 yards for Sacchetti, weaving his way through. I liked how he used that speed right there as well to cut around the right side. And then by the time that it was him and our goalie today, A.J. Smith, I think Sacchetti maybe went like 30 different moves until it felt
Yeah,
like until he got it in. So
It did seem like it, huh? Faking up, down, right, left, and he buried it on the short right side. And Justin Alexander wins the draw for the Panthers. They fight off the penalty, and right away they score at even strength, just about a second into even strength. Panthers have it out deep now. And the shot there, and the blast is home by Ryan Grasso. Ryan Grasso buries it, and it's 8-0 at 5:42 here in the first period.
yeah, I was just going to say that between the goals number 6 from Consigli and 7 from Sacchetti, it felt like there's a pretty sizable gap there, a couple minutes, and that goes by the wayside pretty quickly as Grasso puts one on top of Sacchetti's goal. Franklin kind of having their way. They can be patient when they want. They can also pour it on when they choose to.
You know, it's all relative here in this game because normally 2 minutes apart of a goal, you say that's pretty good. But
Right.
in the kind of
Right?
prolific offense Franklin has had, you're commenting that's a big gap, 2 minutes. But that's the way the Panthers have rolled here in the early stages of the first period. So glad you're with us, fans, on Franklin TV, and we're streaming worldwide on YouTube. Out deep it comes to Patrick Morris, the junior. Again, no seniors on the offensive end for Coach Jason Sims and the Methuen Rangers. 9-9 in the Merrimack Valley. And the shot, and it's wide, or did it get blocked?
I think so. I think it was Aiden Cashman, the sophomore, who put it on Galvin. Galvin made that nice six save.
As it's Kloster who had that good look. That's the best look that the Rangers have had today. And now that shot is wide. Methuen first to the ball with 5 minutes to go here in the 5:03 to be exact here in the first period.
Yeah, Pete, what's been so interesting in looking at the goalie play, and we've seen Galvin get some sizable minutes as a senior. Corvey, who started almost every game last year as a junior, now taking a bit of a split role here. It's actually Galvin who has a higher save percentage as Franklin draws that turnover right there. Galvin's at about a 61% save percentage. Corvey at about a 54. Obviously, those numbers coming at different points of the game, but interesting to see that Galvin can certainly hold his own.
In front with the shot there. It hits the pipe on the blast by the Panthers. It's still loose. I believe Carreri tried to get that home and is now out back to the Franklin side of the field. It's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be the Panthers with the ball on the turnover, and it's going to be Carreri who just hit the pipe. Franklin 8, Methuen 0. This is the round of 32 in the state Division I boys lacrosse tournament. Franklin ranked 4 in the state. The pass in front and is picked off. The pass was picked off by Smith in goal. Pressure here coming from the defense as Brady Kloster tries to control, and he's hounded by Jaden Consigli. Forces a ground ball. Franklin tries to get through it, and they do pick it up at midfield. O'Brien scooped it up on the ground ball. Eddie O'Brien looking for his spot. He shoots it wide. Franklin will have the offense continue here with under 3:42 to go. Franklin has it in play. Davis back in there, and he scores. Davis gets his second goal. Luke Davis. He did have the penalty, but now he's got 2 goals. 3:33 left. It's 9-0 Franklin.
How about the control there from Davis to take it through traffic, take it like contact? We'll keep mentioning Davis on the football field again because just as the receiver he did back in September and October, Davis able to keep that control and find pay dirt.
He becomes the third Panther with two goals here in the game in the first quarter. Consigli has 2, Tyler Sacchetti has 2, and now Luke Davis has 2. And here's the draw by Justin Alexander. He wins it again. Franklin, 2 passes in front, and the blast by Sacchetti is nothing but net for Tyler Sacchetti, and he's got the hat trick for Franklin.
Yeah, first Panther to 3 goals right there is Sacchetti, who's kind of been that third option behind Consigli and Davis, but that's what makes this Panthers team so special, Pete, is the depth that they have both as starters, but also from their bench as well to contribute. A big reason why they also have, a 45, 50 goal pace right now?
Oh, yeah. Right, over 40, that's for sure. Well, we'll talk about a grace rule, which will stop play which would run the clock in the fourth period if Franklin leads by 12 or more. Or if, let's be fair, if Methuen led by 12 or more, they'd have the same rule in effect. The shot there, Galvin with a diving save. He goes down to his right side and hauls it in. The save of the game from Mike Galvin. The shutout retains for the Panthers. 3 minutes to go in the quarter.
Yeah, how about making a play when your name is called, too, from Galvin? We haven't seen him need to make too many saves here today, but that's one thing that Galvin is not afraid to do, is get into some weird positions for a save, and he makes it happen right there.
Eddie O'Brien with it for the Panthers. Gets a push, still bouncing around. In front, Davis comes through, that goes left. It's a goal, and he draws a foul. He may wave this one off as well. Luke Davis with his third goal.
With that goal, Pete, Luke Davis surpasses the 75 goals mark on the season. That leads the team and the Hawkmock League.
Congratulations to Luke Davis, the senior attack person for the Panthers. He's got the hat trick, as does Tyler Sacchetti. Here in the first period, 11-0. What a start for Franklin. After the long layoff, they show no signs of rust. Alexander wins it again. Justin takes it down deep to the sideline. End line extended. Coming through, holding, shooting is Jaden Consigli. He had Alexander back there, so he let it go. It's wide. Franklin controlling it with 2:23 to go. Here's Consigli. He's got 2 goals. And he shoots, and the save by
good save.
A.J. Smith. And he whips one out to midfield. It's caught in heavy traffic by Brady Kloster. Kloster is fouled there by Jack Carreri. No, they're going to call it a violation the other way. Not sure what he called there. Give the ball to the Panthers with 2 minutes to go here in the period. Not sure what that call was by Fran Tarpey. With it now is Braden Leonard. This is he with it. Nope, now he still holds it. Down below, Davis, pass in front, the cutter, and the shot is just wide. Franklin first to the ball. The blast there is a shot and a goal by Braden Leonard.
I think that was actually Eddie O'Brien over
Was it
there.
Eddie O'Brien?
Yeah.
Okay, Eddie O'Brien. Yep, you're right. Eddie O'Brien gets his first goal of the game. He joins the parade of goal scorers for Franklin with 1:44 to go. They've opened up a 12-0 lead. O'Brien with 1. So Sacchetti with 3, Davis with 3, and Jaden Consigli with 2.
I think that's 7 different goal scorers now, Pete, out of the 12 scored.
So play back in. Franklin just dominating play here. Sheer dominance by the Panthers. With it now is Zach Langevin, who's in the game. Over to Drew Hansen. He misfires, but Franklin has a player out there to scoop it up.
Yeah, we see the legs of Langevin on the field as well as Dylan McAvoy, who has the ball on his stick right now. So Franklin utilizing those reserves early. Pete, I think it's a great idea for Coach Veracki to get his guys some minutes, especially this early in the game.
Great. And it'll come in handy further down in playoff time. With the drive here is C.J. Perro. His shot and the score by C.J. Perro. Yet another scorer here today. 58.9 seconds to go. It's 13-0. Franklin on top. C.J. Perry worked hard for that goal, and he just buried it.
Yeah, as you said again, the rich get richer right there as Franklin using that versatility, scoring from so many different spots. Perro getting under the board. That's 8 different goal scorers for Franklin. They have 4 different goal scorers out of their last 4 goals and 5 of their last 6.
13-0, under a minute left in the first period. An avalanche of goals. Violation here on Alexander, and it'll be controlled by Desi Simadia. A rare trip into the offensive zone for Owen Howell and the Rangers of Methuen. Howell with it, coming through. Baseline extended, goes behind the net. Now in front, it's a good pass, a little flip and a fake, and keeping it is the Ranger on the far side. With it there was Brady Kloster. Out in front, the shot, the misfire, and Methuen first to the ball will have it. They're being attacked, and it's going to be a whistle, late whistle call. I thought the Panthers won it, but they're going to give the ball to Methuen. Fran Tarpey with the call. 21.6 seconds to go in the quarter. All Franklin all the time so far tonight. It's Brady Kloster to put it in play. Referee talking to a Panther there. Panther looking up. And Kloster waits for the official. Tarpey signals play. And here comes the Rangers looking for their first goal of the night. Good movement here of the ball. Time winding down. They get it back out. It's over deep for Howell. Howell mishandled it, couldn't handle it rather. Goes back to Morris. Patrick Morris in the horn sounds, ending an astonishing attack by the Panthers. 13-0 in the first period, and we still have, I don't know who else has not scored, but a long parade of scores in the first half. Sheer domination by the Panthers here so far tonight.
Yeah, Franklin obviously up a lot early. I think, Pete, it just kind of goes to not only the talent difference between the two teams, but the execution. Franklin's been able to find the passing lanes when they needed to and really find them with consistency, which is why I think we still see a donut on the board for Methuen, and Franklin on a 52-goal pace at the moment. So Franklin having their way, and wouldn't be surprised to see maybe some more reserves come in defensively. Maybe we'll see Corby come in and mix it up with Galvin in net.
Yeah, we should mention the grace rule. If a team leads by 14 or more goals, let me see, if it was at 12. Maybe it's 12 goals or more. think it's 12 goals or more in the fourth period, it's running time. However, if both coaches agree to running time before that, that is possible too. So it's not cast in stone. You could have running time earlier if both coaches agree. Well, right now, one coach is very happy with his team. That's Lou Verrocchi. His team playing outstanding lacrosse, leads it 13-0. One coach, well, he's got to be scratching his head, Jason Sims. He's tried some subs, Ryan. He's put in a lot of players, but it's been really ineffective for his team out here today.
Yeah, I think we go back to that execution point about how you mentioned how Methuen's been ineffective with their work so far, and that really just goes to what Franklin brings on their defense, which can sometimes be overlooked by how great their offense is. And we don't really talk a lot about what makes this Franklin defense so suffocating. But for right now, Methuen, I think you just got to try and keep taking one possession at a time, acting like it's not such an out-of-hand game, and seeing if you can maybe get a couple good shots on there. And maybe, at first it starts by taking out the shutout. And I think maybe there could be doing something in the second quarter.
Okay, so we're going to turn it over to a recent graduate of Franklin High School. Congratulations on winning the Franklin TV Scholarship Award. Here's Ryan Martin.
Thank you so much, Pete Royce. Excited to be back here as Franklin getting this playoff run started, trying to avenge a loss last year in the quarterfinals. Franklin looking as good as advertised here in the round of 32. So Franklin, as you can see now, running from right to left across your screen in their home uniforms with a 13-goal cushion to sit on. Not too shabby after 12 minutes of play.
We should say Justin Alexander is serving a penalty, 15 seconds to go. It was a face-off violation, and he's out for 13 more seconds.
Second penalty already on the day for Franklin. So maybe on the scoreboard there's not, but there are some blemishes to this Franklin team so far for Coach Verrocchi to use in practice.
Yeah, that's a good point. They really want to fine-tune all aspects of the game because it won't get easier after tonight.
Of course. Here's Hansen. Across the middle, he goes to Langevin. Back out to Hansen. I believe it's an all-underclassmen attack right now for Franklin, and it is. It's McAvoy, Perro. Back out to McAvoy, who rips that one across. My bad, that's Zach Langevin instead. Rounding out this attack, it is Eddie O'Brien, Drew Hansen, and Ryan Grasso. Picked off there by Hansen. Hansen had some green in front of him. Instead, he'll look to the side for McAvoy. He gets caught up for a moment.
I like what Hansen did right there. He picked off the ball, and he just didn't take it and shoot it. He looked for a teammate. Franklin really wants to fine-tune their offense, even with these subs in.
Right. One thing I was noticing, too, in that first quarter of play, Pete, and you can see how this differentiates from the regular season, there's no reason to find a margin of victory anymore. We're in the playoffs, right? So
right,
for Franklin,
exactly.
who put up all these big numbers as it goes inside to Langevin, he scores his first goal of the game going right under the crossbar. You don't really need to beat up on teams so consistently anymore because your margin of victory doesn't really matter when you're in the playoffs.
Nope. I don't like that rule anyway, margin of victory. It does tend to want teams to score a lot,
Yeah.
and once the game is packed away, that should do it. But, hey, the MIA has a tough job in putting together the right formula. I think they've made vast improvements in how they rank the teams, and they're ironing out all the bugs, and they pretty much got it down where they want it to be.
If there's anyone who'd know that, it might be a host of an MIAA talk show. You can tell us a little bit about some of the changes that you've noticed while doing that.
Yeah, winning ways with the MIAA. First change is the MIA is becoming much more public-oriented in sharing what they're all about on the airwaves. And Franklin, very happy to host a lot of those shows. And good new leadership as well, headed up by Dr. Baldwin, Bob Baldwin. Who's got an interesting background. His dad was the voice of the Nebraska Cornhuskers in football for years. How about that?
Interesting. Maybe we'll have to talk about that sometime.
Does Maryland play Nebraska?
Oh, they're both in the Big Ten,
Yeah,
so certainly could be.
So if you want a little inside track, you might want to look up Dr. Bob Baldwin.
Yeah, certainly have to give that one a look up as O'Brien just can't find back iron. That one will be saved by Smith. Franklin still having their ways here. Well, it looks like the Methuen Rangers are maybe lost in a cornfield, we could say.
Yeah, very good. You know, they've also contained Jason Cripps. You were telling me offline before the game. Pretty powerful scorer, but he's been held down here in the first period plus.
Yeah, we haven't even really mentioned Cripps' name. As you can see him on the right side of your screen, number 5, who just on command gets the ball to his way. Cripps has a couple of 5-goal games on the season. Always tough to know a ton about these out-of-league teams. Methuen has not played Franklin in recent memory, at least the last 7 years. But Cripps is the word of mouth, one of the better players on this attack, only a sophomore. And that one will be a penalty against Franklin, it looks like.
It is. So 3 penalties all belong to the Panthers. Over aggressive on that. And let's see who's going to go out for the white and blue.
I think that looks like it'll be Carreri taking the knee.
I thought it was Carreri. 3rd penalty for Franklin. Official Tarpey making the call.
It is Carreri down on the knee, and that'll be a 1-minute minor.
Play back in, but the official hasn't picked up his flag yet. He's got to be careful. He's got to watch the action, bend down, and get. He does. Quick start.
Here's Methuen trying to run this attack, and all of a sudden, that's kind of the way of the game goes. It's Franklin now in transition, forcing the turnover. Connor Sullivan down the near side. Behind the goal line extended, he brings it to Dylan McAvoy. Swinging this one around. Jack O'Connor in the game as well. So it is early. O'Connor, one of the swing varsity, junior varsity players. So we'll have to look at the bench and see who hasn't come into the game yet, but it could already be pretty much loaded out for Franklin.
Yeah, and we've seen this before in other blowouts by the Panthers. Coach Varaki will empty his bench early and get these players a lot of experience, a lot.
Yeah, certainly one thing that these reserves have been accustomed to is anytime you're putting on that uniform, just because you're not in the starting lineup or the first one's off the bench, don't be expected to be sitting there all day.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be game ready at all times.
Here's Perro inside to McAvoy. He goes. Good save there made by Smith. Probably the best one of the day for our Ranger in net.
Beautiful anticipation by Smith as McAvoy went high, and he just leaped up, anticipated where it was going to go, put his cage right up there and hauled it in.
Smith, not afraid to carry it up here. He goes across the 40. Good find right there to a teammate, and that one brings it to Patrick Morris. Morris losing it right there, though, and brought away by Eddie O'Brien. O'Brien in the midfield, bringing it in transition. Taking some contact right there from Adriel Viniero. Swung around for Chris Drake. Drake has some space in front of him. He'll just sky that one over. And the nearest one to it being McAvoy. It should stay with the Panthers. Six minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the second half, and Franklin consistent now in getting their reserves some minutes. Good mix here of starters and reserves on the field. On this attack, it's Perro, who just dishes that one to McAvoy. He's joined alongside by Jack O'Connor, Drew Hansen, and Ryan Grasso. Here is O'Connor. Taking some heat right there from Desi Sismadia. That one will fly over there for O'Connor, so Franklin maybe having some lapses in accuracy on the last couple shots.
Yeah, he went with a low launch to a high ball, and it went over the goal mouth into the back line. Franklin controls.
McAvoy brings it across the goal line, extended, gets sandwiched right there. Somehow still has the ball in his stick.
I thought that might be a penalty. He tried to pull down the Panther there.
Will be a penalty coming up here next time Methuen touches the ball, which will be right now. Or not. That one's still a ground ball as I jinx that one. Perro brings it up here. Franklin awaiting the man-up advantage. And O'Connor will restart. Back right to McAvoy. Not afraid to take a moment and get it into a teammate O'Connor. That one's still up for grabs. O'Connor launches it. And that one will go on the back line and stay with Franklin. But with that one coming on a change of possession, Pete, it should start the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, that took a long time. Foul is on Samadia. That took a long time for the delayed call to be enacted because the Panthers really controlled the ball for about a minute after the flag was thrown.
So it does go on Sismedia. It'll be a 1-minute minor in case Franklin needed it. So I'm glad that they drew that foul. Back up top to Grasso. On the side, good angle and better shot there from Jack O'Connor. The sophomore getting it done right there, and I believe it's one of his first goals of the season for number 2.
Jack O'Connor. So in this second period, it's been Zach and Jack. Zach Langevin, Jack O'Connor. Panthers about 5 minutes apart on each of these goals. First one at 10:10, this one at 5:08, and it's 15-0. So O'Connor, the sophomore, gets one home, and Franklin with the huge lead. They led after one, 13-0.
Certainly still having their way, and as we look at the bench right here, we do have a couple players inactive today, but everyone who's dressed, Pete, I believe, is now in the game, including Ben Patterson, the backup faceoff get-off, who does have a lot of talent of his own. We know he's coming to his own as a junior behind Justin Alexander.
Yes, and a penalty called here on Franklin. Delayed call against the Panthers will be their 4th of the game. And that ball is out of bounds, and here comes the call against Franklin. So Franklin with 4 penalties has not hurt them in the scoreboard, but the optics of it aren't great. And it looks like it's going to be...
It's Sullivan who's down
Connor
there right now.
Sullivan, yep. 30 seconds.
So this one should take us to about the 4:15 mark as your 17-1 Franklin Panthers, the number 4 seed in the MIAA Division I tournament. Methuen will try and keep it right there. Starting their playoff run again here for the 2023 season. Ryan Martin bringing you all the action alongside Pete Royce, joined by camera operator and producer today, Chris Leverone. We thank Levy for all he's doing for us here on Franklin TV. Galvin not afraid to run up on this one as Franklin with a 15-goal cushion.
Galvin got a little bit too excited. He tried to lead a teammate on the far side just too much and out of bounds, and that's a turnover.
Yeah, one thing you can't do, especially if you're in a position like Galvin's in, a position where you're still in kind of a battle for your starting spot there. You don't want to get too ahead of yourself, even being up so many goals. Methuen swinging this one around. Behind the net it goes to Cripps. Cripps with the bad pass. We've kind of highlighted his name a couple of times. This one goes out to Aiden Cashman. It's a 6-on-6 battle as he's guarded by Franklin's Nick Weber. And in front it goes to Patrick Morris. Back out far side to Cashman. Methuen looking for a lane inside. They just can't find it right now.
Yeah, not to be overlooked in the 15-0 offensive explosion is the strong defense by the Panthers in this game.
You have to take pride if you still have that shutout right now for the Panthers.
Cripps has really been shut down.
Yeah, you can see him right now. Cripps going very laterally and just leaving it there back for Cashman. Long possession, though, for Methuen. Those have been hard to come by today for the Rangers. Inside, they try to get it to Morris. Probably the best look of the day so far. Morris just couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, good ball movement. Morris made a nice cut in front, and his shot was over everything.
Starting this one now is Joseph Casarano. Casarano back up top. He goes to Sismedia. Good defense right there by Franklin, and they'll call it a penalty, though, on Braden Leonard. It's maybe a little bit too physical for the liking of, I believe on that referee call right there was Fran Tarpey.
Right, exactly. So the 5th penalty against the Panthers. And let's see who's in the box there. We see, might be Carreri again. No, let's check that out here.
That should be Lampazona, right?
It's Lampasona, Anthony Lampasona, the junior. 5th penalty. He'll be out for 1 minute. Again, the Panthers have fought off and played down each of their previous 4 penalties. Here's number 5.
Yep, Methuen now with the man-up advantage. Can they break that scoreless streak so far? Looking for their first goal of the game. Inside, they find it, and that one on the shot, Owen Howell, but just hits the post right there, and Franklin will take possession. And Pete, one thing with these penalties that we keep saying Franklin have, I really don't think that it's our officiating crew today of Fran Tarpey, Tony Cordani, who are kind of giving Methuen some leeway in there and trying to help them out with the penalties. I think they're all well-deserved against Franklin.
Yeah.
In terms of true things for Coach Verocki to work on.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we'll have to see what that'll look like over the span of the rest of this game. And then, not to preview it already, but Franklin, again, they should be hosting another playoff game, assuming that they can use this 15-goal cushion. They will await the winner of number 13 seed Needham, who are hosting number 20 seed Natick. That game will happen tomorrow, so in all likelihood, Franklin in the round of 16 will be playing this coming Thursday.
Yeah, that looks the way it will shape up. Girls will be playing, what, Wednesday?
Yep, girls are the number 4 seed, or the number 7 seed, and they'll be hosting the number 10 seed Concord Carlisle team. A team, Pete, that they went to Concord Carlisle this regular season, beat them in overtime 14-13. So should be a great game on the docket for the girls coming Wednesday.
That should be outstanding.
Hmm.
Seems like Concord Carlisle is always in Franklin, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or
especially
or
come
we're
playoff
there.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Different sports, field hockey, now lacrosse.
We know how successful Franklin has been with the Dalton Awards and such, but there's a lot of schools that maybe aren't going to be, the top 5 seeds that Franklin can be consistently in sports, but they're always going to be someone to watch out in the playoffs as Brian Leonard watches out on that one hitting top crossbar. O'Connor back inside. He tried to find a cutting Hansen. Instead, that one will go all the way back out. Can Damian Tarantino win it defensively for Franklin? And he cannot. It's an infraction. Give it back to Sismedia.
A little too aggressive on the box out that time for Tarantino.
Here comes Casarano. Retreating. Jack Carreri coming into his face. In the midfield, it's Brian Leonard, Lampazona. And backing on defense now, it's Flynn Baker, Jack Carreri, Lucas Sheehan, and Damian Tarantino. Offensively, here comes the Rangers. Trying to fire on a shot right there. Bouncing it up is Owen Howell. He's fired a couple on today, but nothing finding its way into the net.
You can see how Franklin is so strong defense, but on the other side, no seniors in the offensive attack for Methuen, and that's showing with their little experience out there.
Here comes Galvin, threatening past the 50-yard line. Could be a costly turnover there. Good awareness by Carreri, though, to at least watch that.
I think Galvin knew the little time that was left, and that's the only reason why he came out to the 50.
Yeah, we've seen little urgency at the end of the quarters right now. Obviously, could be a product of this big lead that Franklin has. That lead, to be specific, it is Franklin 15, Methuen 0. Pete, we hit our halftime break right now, and this has been all Franklin starting from pretty much the first whistle.
Well, the scoring has slowed down, but you would imagine that with so many subs into the game, not just in this period, but towards the middle to later part of the first period as well. So 13-0 after 1 and 2 more. Zach Langevin at 10-10 in this period, and Jack O'Connor at 5:08 in this period. We're going to take a break, Ryan, and we'll be back in about 9 minutes for the start of the second half. Franklin not bothered it one bit by a long layoff, as they have really shown up big time here today. They lead at halftime, 15-0 in boys lacrosse over Methuen. The second half is next on Franklin TV. Welcome back to Piscini Stadium. Pete Royce, Ryan Martin. The second half about to get underway. Franklin leads at 15-0. Scoreboard with a little power failure, and here it comes back up. Ryan, what a half for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement, Pete. We know how Franklin, had their whole way, and this is a Goliath, Pete, that's playing like a Goliath right now. They're having their way offensively, still pitching the shutout defensively right now, so we'll see if that can keep up over the last 24 minutes. But right now, it's been all Franklin all the time.
15 goals in the first half. And they go from left to right across your screen. To start the second half, 2 more 15-minute periods. We'll see when the running time kicks in. With it here is Ben Patterson. This is Zach Langevin. He got a second period goal.
Whoa.
Backhand hits the side of the net.
Oh, I thought that went in, yeah.
It looked it. Franklin with an interesting play there, a diving attempt. Was that C.J. Perro?
I think that was Perro, yeah.
Perro with a diving attempt for the score. Comes up a little bit short. Nice whipped pass out to Desi Samadia. Samadia advances the ball, but misfires, and Franklin will have it on the turnover. Jack Curry back to cover. Franklin led after 13-0. They added 2 more goals, and they've kept the Rangers off the board in both periods. Let's see, have we had a change in goalkeeper? Yes, we have. In goal now for the Panthers is Matt Corvey. Corvey, the junior. In goal was Galvin, the sophomore, for the first 2 periods. But it's Corvey right now.
Yeah, and Pete, Franklin was 17 wins on the year, only 2 of those coming via the shutout. So you obviously know how much pride a defense can take in keeping that 0 on the board. It'll be up to Corvey now if he can do it for the remainder of this game.
This is Nick Weber. Weber cuts in front, no pass to him. Franklin takes it back out to Zach Langevin. Langevin, the junior. He'll whip it back out. Almost 2 minutes gone here in the period. Holding. In front with a nice cut. And holding on the shot, though, were the Panthers.
Yeah, I think that was Weber who brought it inside there. Nick Pearson for Methuen. Kind of gave him a bit of a push on the back. Maybe that would have been called if Weber let a shot off right there. But Weber just didn't have the ankle for a shot after that.
Ground ball picked up by the hustling Rangers, but they lose it. Now it's on the floor. Whacked over there by Langevin. Still nobody controlled. Langevin can't quite scoop it. It's a hot potato. Some pushing going on. And a foul called here against Franklin. So it'll be Nick Pearson starting it off for the Rangers with 9:17 to go. Pete Royce with you. Ryan Martin, our producer. Our technologist today is Chris Leverone. So glad you're with us, fans, on Franklin TV, and we're streaming around the world on YouTube. Pass is errant, but a nice pickup by Pearson. Nick, the shot there, the blast, and the save by Corvey. Was off target, but a nice save anyway.
Yeah, Casarano letting that one fly right there. And that was textbook there from Corvey, exactly how you should go about making that stick save right there, and he keeps it in his glove.
Pass intended for Leonard is picked off. A lot of contact here. And it's going to be Franklin awarded the ball. And the clock is moving, 8:34 to go. We'll watch the clock. By coach approval, you could have running time before the 4th period. In the 4th period, it has to run if there's a 12-goal advantage for either team. We'll keep an eye on the clock to see if the teams agreed to run the time fully here in the 3rd. With it is Chris Drake. Over to Zach Langevin. And he starts. He fakes his move. Good defense by the Rangers. We've killed off 4 minutes here in the period. No score yet in period number 3. Langevin can't find it. Nice defense by the Rangers. With it hustling down was Adriel Vinero. His pass is picked off. The Franklin score is going to be a penalty. The shot of the score there by Brian Leonard. We'll wait for the flag. Leonard scores it. Franklin leads it 16-0.
Yeah, first goal in some time there for Franklin. Obviously, we did have that break there and kind of a more patient approach in that second quarter, but the same storyline keeps coming up, Pete. I believe that is goal scorer number 9 for Franklin. 9 different players finding the back of the net right there. Brian Leonard etching his name with that group.
So Leonard, a senior in there, mixed in with some underclassmen. Let's check that on Leonard. There's Braden Leonard and
Both seniors, I believe. Yep.
yeah, Brian Leonard as well. So it's 16-0. Franklin with the lead. And they are both seniors. Franklin wins the draw with 6:50 to go here in the period. The penalty is against the Rangers, and going out for 1 minute was Owen O'Brien, the defenseman. O'Brien in the box. Second penalty against the Rangers. Franklin has had 5 miscues. The shot there and the save by Alexander and by Alexander Smith. 22 seconds left on the penalty to O'Brien for the Rangers. So they're playing a player down. Hounded in his back line is DeRozier. And Franklin trying to go for the steal. The bench cheering them on. They do force the turnover. And now it's turned the other way as Carreri comes back. The Rangers with it, with the player down. Now they're at even strength. The penalty is up to O'Brien, and both teams are even with 6 minutes to go in the third period. Back to Corvey. Matt Corvey seeing his first action here in the third period in the game. And he lobs one for Damian Tarantino. Tarantino, a junior. Franklin holding it out there to Eddie O'Brien. They go far side. Franklin takes it behind the net. Franklin camped out on the doorstep, but no pass is forthcoming, and the pass is errant. And Franklin tips it forward, but it's going to be a violation, and the ball will go over to the Rangers. 5:12 to go. If I'm not mistaken, Ryan, I believe the clock is straight running time at this point.
Yeah, I think I've seen that since the middle of that third quarter. So I think you're right that from here on out over the final 17 minutes should be that running clock the whole time.
Casarano with it at the top. This is he. He lobs it over to Brady Kloster, the freshman. That shows the lack of seniority on their offensive line. Back out to Casarano. He's a junior, so a little bit of a upperclassman play there. Behind the net it comes. Aaron pass. It's a turnover, and Franklin will have it with 4:34 to go. Clock moving here in the third period.
Yeah, Pete, it goes without saying, it might be too little too late, but you can't have these errant passes if you are Methuen here just trying to string together some successful offensive possessions. They just haven't been able to do that at all this evening.
Corvey starts it out for Franklin, leading it by 16 in the third period. On the charge is Franklin on the far side. They take it behind the net. Ball is dropped, retrieved by the Panthers. 4 minutes to go with Zach Langevin in control. Lobs it out deep for Leonard. They work it to the far side. Dropped off. Errant ball picked up by Leonard finally. Can he get it? No, he can't. He's battling for it. Ball on the turf. Coming up with it is Langevin with a great pickup there by Zach Langevin. He goes by 2. Langevin holding, wants to shoot, he does, and he misfires. He had on the doorstep Dylan McAvoy, and McAvoy retreats.
And what a play there from Langevin to keep possession right there as Franklin just puts the shots on. You knew that Langevin was going to get that shot off. He was trying to get one of the highlight reels of our Franklin videographers at the field level.
He did a great job avoiding 2 defenders. Weber just misfired there for the Panthers. 3:09 to go. Fast-moving third period here with running time, we do believe. We have not seen the clock stop. And Panthers, everybody with a touch here. Up to Langevin, under 3 to go in the period. Now you think, Ryan, well, what happened to the goal scoring, 13-0? Well, you got a lot of subs in. That was the first quarter score. Then here you got running time, and Franklin just not looking to score, looking to work their plays.
And then we go back to the idea earlier of once you're in the playoffs, does margin of victory really matter anymore? You don't need to impress any MIAA tournament makers. So
We've been impressed with their play all year.
Oh.
Don't need to impress us any.
Golf claps for me all around. Yeah.
Yeah. Langevin, 2:23 to go. Franklin dominating here against Methuen. The shot there, a quick release picked up by Langevin. And the offense continues for Franklin. In front, ball is loose on the floor. Picked up, a battle for it. Nobody's got it yet, still loose. Players going down, ball still loose, is going to get the round ball. It's going to be picked up there by O'Connor. He gets a shot off, and it's hauled in by Smith. How did Alexander get that off? Under 2 to go in the third period, 16-0 Franklin. In this round of 32, the Division I state championships. Boys lacrosse, some little mix-up there. Mix-up, I should say.
Mishap? Anything you want,
mishap, yeah. 1:35 to go here in the third. Franklin with 1 goal in this period. 1:25 to go. Langevin, did he get to it in time? No. It's going to be the other way for Adriel Vinero. And he lobs one upfield to Riley Laflamme. Laflamme drops it for Eric Delaney, a 9th grader. Delaney. Back out deep it comes to Eric Delaney. And he'll backpedal it with 1 minute to go in the period. Delaney pushed out of the way. He still gets a nice pass off. It's complete. Now on the left wing for Casarano. Back out for Patrick Morris. Again, unable to penetrate are the Rangers. Franklin's defense has been stout here today. First team subs doesn't matter. Ball loose. Franklin wins the ground ball. And here come the Panthers. On the run is Carreri. Jack, the senior, for Langevin. Behind the back pass. In front, the behind the back shot. It is just wide. Everybody showcasing the take. Great. Chris Drake went behind the back on the shot after a couple of behind the back passes. 16 seconds to go in the period.
Yeah, I know that's your favorite play on the lacrosse field, Pete. Whenever you can do the behind-the-back pass or a shot, just looks so pretty to make it happen.
Doesn't it? It is a thing of beauty with 5 seconds to go in the period. Whistle stops play. Got to get a player off the field. And a long shot rolls in on Matt Corvey. And that's the third period. Franklin, it's interesting, 13 goals in the first period, 2 in the second, and 1 here in the third. But, as we've said many times, as Ryan has pointed out, you don't need a big margin here. You just need a W. And Franklin in control here after 3, 16-0. Well, Ryan, you look at the Franklin schedule, and what was really the key game was, I thought, the Longmeadow game. That was 2 games after their loss.
Yep.
And Longmeadow was a team that is out of from the western part of the state, a